Hey garden friends, welcome back to Flower Patch, and today I'm going to show you how I use a propagation box to start seeds. Now I'm going to do zinnias today. I'm going to plant some in my propagation box or put them in there, and I'll take some in the house and we'll see how they do compared. If we're in the house, the nighttime temperatures will stay more moderate than outdoors, because here in the mountains we get some cool nights. Right now, last night we got down to 22. This is April 10th or 11th. I'm not exactly sure. Let me check. And we will for the next few nights. Next week it should warm up a little bit. So today's April 12th, actually. I'm really far behind. I lose track of my days. Anyways, so I have seen people online who use these propagation boxes for winter sowing, and they drill holes in them. And I'll bring one up here. I'll bring it up here for you. I just use the Sterlite tub, and it's see-through. It does have a white lid, but in the winter, the sun comes down at an angle. It is not directly overhead. And having a lid that's opaque and not see-through doesn't matter. You can still use it the same way. I don't drill holes because I water my pots thoroughly and set them in there, and then I check them once in a while. But this is how I do my spring sowing in these. Now I'm going to start by figuring out what seeds I'm going to plant. I said I wanted to do zinnias, and I had some popped out here to do, and I have some that are older. I should save those for testing inside. Senorita, I had one of these last year, absolutely loved it. It just drew me in, and when I found Select Seeds had that color, it was in a mix, so I didn't know what it was, and then I spotted that, and that was the one. So okay, I had pulled a bunch of seeds out. This one is Zinnia, Benary's Giant Coral. You notice I've got a little bit of orange in my flowers this year. Last year I'm not usually big on orange, but last year I had an orange dahlia that I absolutely loved. Every time I came out and saw it, it was just, I don't know, something that really delighted me. Therefore, I'm planting more orange, or orange's tones, in my garden. Here's Giant Lime. Zinnia Benary's Giant Lime. Now, lime green goes with a lot of things, and it's just something outstanding in cut flower bouquets. So I wanted to make sure I got that one. Okay, this one is Benary's Giant White. White is always great in bouquets. Queen Lime White Blush. Now, a lot of people just absolutely love the Queen Limes. They didn't float my boat that much, but I bought some seeds because they do blend well into bouquets. They're almost like a backdrop flower where they don't steal the show, but they do enhance other flowers very well. Okay, Senora Zinnia. I'm not sure what color that is. I might give it a try. Some of these are from last year, so I'll put 2 or 3 in a container just in case they don't all not propagate, but germinate. I didn't take extremely good care of my seeds. Therefore, that's why I have a little bit of a doubt in my mind. I had them here in the greenhouse. It gets extremely hot, extremely cold. If I had put them in an airtight container in my basement where it's a moderate, like 50 degrees year round, they would have preserved just fine, but I didn't do that. Okay, this is a purple. So I'm going to decide which ones I want to start right now. I've got plenty of time to plant more. So I have a few seeds picked, and I'm going to write the names first. It's easier. Let me tilt you a little bit this way. I'm going to write the name first. I like the paint pen. It holds up really well with the on these things. Let me get a towel that I can wipe it off if it's dusty. And I want to make sure I do the senoritas. Now you could do this in smaller pots, or the 6-packs, leftover 6-packs containers. I don't have any in here right now, so I'm going to use these tall pots, which will work fine. I can also start a bunch of these direct sow once the temperatures level out, and that's probably closer to June, or in June actually. So I am going to plant 3 of the senoritas. Now these are new seeds, the senoritas. So I'm going to do 1 per pot because it is said that zinnias don't really like their roots disturbed. And therefore transplanting them, you don't want to shock them too much. But who knows? I always do it. So maybe I will go ahead and put 2 in and give it a whirl. So there's 3 senoritas. Now I'll do also the Benary's coral, giant coral. So I'll get these marked and then I'll be right back on. I will coral. I will get these all marked up and then I'll be right back to show you how I sew them, which is pretty basic, but everybody usually wants to know. So, coral. I have them all marked. So I'm just going to fill them up. You don't even have to fill these all the way up if you don't want to. You can do 3/4. They are very deep. It's just what I had on hand, these 4-inchers, which work well for a lot of things. Now, the beauty of being able to start these outside in like a propagation box, etc., is that if you don't have the facilities inside to start seeds, this can give you a little bit of a head start on your season. And a lot of areas have earlier last frost dates than I do. Even though I'm a zone 8, my last frost date is like the end of May, and that's similar to a gal I've been watching, a YouTuber, blogger, garden blogger, and her name is Kristen, and her blog is Shifting Roots, and she's up in Canada in a zone 3, and her channel, YouTube channel and blog, is all about gardening in a cold zone like that. But the interesting fact is that our growing seasons are not that much different. Her last frost date, I think she said, was May 21st. Mine is like the 3rd weekend of May is what we consider the last frost date. And I think her first frost date in the fall is just a few weeks before mine. So our growing seasons are not that different, even though our zone is quite dramatically different. And that's why I always tell you, with annuals, etc., don't go by your zone. Go by your local growing conditions and last frost date. That is much more accurate for growing annuals. You want to know your zone for perennials that you want to overwinter. So that's where that is pertinent information. But anyways, if you have a chance, go over and check out her blog and YouTube channel. I think it's really interesting because she's been showing how to start a cut flower garden, like for sale, business. On just first she had just a lot, and now she's bought some property. But I think the interesting series she has going now is for $100 of seeds, what kind of a cut flower garden business could you start? Anyways, it's just really interesting. She shows what she's starting. So head on over there and let her know that I sent you over there to check out her blog and YouTube channel. So anyways, I just wanted to make sure I told you about her because she really has some great information that I have been benefiting from. I am going to start with Senorita. Love this one. So I'm going to put 2 seeds, I think, in each container. I got 3 of each for each color. And let's see. I am just going to, now you see I just have them 3/4, 2/3 full, and I will push the seeds in there. Let me read the packet for you. Let's see. Sow 68 weeks before last frost. Keep at 70 to 80. Set outside after last spring frost. Planting depth 1/16 to 1/4 of an inch. So what I do is I will take a tool, like my little thing, and I will just push it down into the soil with the tool, the butt end of that tool. Just push it and just scooch a little soil over it. Call it good. And then, so that I don't dislodge these seeds, I will set them in water. I'll put them in the propagation tub and put some water in it for it to absorb from the bottom. Same here. 1, 2. I'm putting them across from each other, probably 1.5 inches apart. And then I just press. Press it down firmly. That you want good contact with the soil. Press them firmly and then just scooch a little soil over them. That's how I do it. Coral, did I do another senorita? There's the senorita. So here's another couple seeds. And since I have such little space right now on my rack in the house, I will go find some smaller pots, even maybe a 6-pack container that I could start those in and what have you. Okay, so the leftover seeds that I will put into containers to take in the house, we'll go over there. I wanted to do the coral zinnia. And like I said, when it comes time to direct sow outside, I will show you how I do that too. And a lot of times I only direct sow my zinnias, but I wanted a little bit of a head start this year. Boy, when that sun goes down, it gets cool. That wind out there is very cold too, which makes it nice in here because when the sun's shining on the greenhouse, being out of the wind makes a big difference. Okay. Oh, I didn't get a third one of the lime. I guess I could get another container for the lime. So just smush down, press, press. Firm the soil down. So, okay. And 2 limes. I have another pot down here. Guess I can make sure I get that one marked. Lime. Zinnia. Yeah, this cold weather hit after we had 80 degrees last week. So it's just been unreal. It was unreal to be 80s. We don't normally get 80s in April. We usually have hit and miss, some sun and then some storms. We could even get a couple of feet of snow in April. Come on, you dumb thing. Open up. Now, I wanted to say that I before have grown seeds from the dollar store and done fabulous. So don't think you have to order, specialty seeds from special companies. Go down to, we have a local Dollar General, and that's where I had gotten my seeds, some seeds before, and grown just beautifully. And there's usually, a lot of times they're 2 for $1, so you could really get going on a tight budget. And they're still beautiful. I just ordered because I wanted these specialty colors and not necessarily a mix. A lot of times you'll get a mix or something like that, or just specific colors at dollar store. But they grow just fine. Okay, there we've got them all put in there. I will move my soil so I can put my box up here. Took the lid off, and I am just going to set it right here, and I'm going to put my pots of seeds and soil right in here. Probably have room for some more I could put in here, and I probably will. But in the interim, I will just show you where I will put it out of doors. Now, I will say that while we're getting into the 20s, I may just keep this in here in the greenhouse. But for those whose temperatures are in the 30s or above, you can put these outside in the garden. And I will show you where I will place mine. So now we're out here beside the greenhouse. And here's the raised bed that I have moved here for this cut flower garden I'm having beside the greenhouse, which I have a video on how this all started that you can refer to. But this is where I'm going to put these. Now, since these like hot weather, even to get started, warmer weather, and our nights could get pretty cool, I want them up against my greenhouse so that at night it will radiate some heat as it loses heat. It gets very warm in there when we have normal temperatures on sunny days. Now, we can have, like I said, very, very cold nights up through May. So we will see how these do, and I will do some in there. And I will go ahead and I will put water in here for them to absorb. And as the sun shines, they'll get plenty of light. They'll get more than enough to germinate and to grow. And once they get started, during the day, I will take this lid off if the temperatures are warm enough. And since I'm out here every day anyways, it's not a big deal. Now, you could also do this on your porch. I could have it on my back deck where I could see it every day. And I could even, if I wanted to, bring it in the house at night so that the nighttime temperatures wouldn't get so cold and they would germinate faster. In fact, I might do another one and do that, just so I can have a comparison of ones that stay under my lights in the house, the ones that are out here, and the ones I take in and out. Just like I did my tomatoes. I showed you in a video how I started tomatoes using the winter sowing method in the milk jugs, and I would take them in each night because our nights were getting so cold, and then put them out during the day to get sunlight, warm up, and to grow. So the benefit of doing it like this, where you grow them, I call tough, is that hardening them off is nothing. They're more resistant to bugs when you finally do get to plant them out in the garden, because a lot of times seedlings you started indoors are very, very tender. And then you have to take them in and out to harden them off. And that could be kind of a pain when you just want to get started. But they're already hardened off when you do it this way. So I hope to see you in the next video where I update you on how they're growing in this propagation box. And just so you know, this works for a lot of plants, not just zinnias. So if you wanted to start other things that are a little more cold sensitive, you can try this method that way too. And or you can do the winter sowing method. The only thing is because it's covered, you would have to check if they need watering. But if you start out with the soil very moist, you usually don't have to water hardly at all, but it's not hard when it's all enclosed to give it a little water. You just pour it in the base and you let them soak it up, even for winter sowing. So that's just a little hint for using one of these propagation boxes. So have you ever used a propagation box to start seeds and or cuttings before? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always trying new methods for different things. So I'll see you in the next video.